For the longest time, my wife has been at my throat asking me to get our backyard in order so we can put together a small garden area with a few raised beds for vegetables. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can turn an afternoon's worth of work into a vegetable producing cozy, beautiful little space in your backyard. And on top of that, I'm going to show you every single product that we got online on Lowe's.com to take this garden to the next level. Thank you to Lowe's for sponsoring this video. The first thing I did to prepare our yard for this garden bed project was to manually till up all of the soil in the area that we were going to be working in. Needless to say, my dog was not a fan of the process. So I bought these 8-foot boards. I'm going to be cutting them at about 69.5, so this leftover 27 inches, these will be my length sides and these will be my width sides. After making all of my cuts, I laid out all of the parts and pieces. That way I could get to screwing everything together. I used Torx screws right into the face of these boards, and I'm not worried about the heads of those screws showing because I want to be trimming everything out later on in this video. There was obviously no persuading required to get Colby involved on this project. She's as interested in flowers as her mama is. Alright, so we built a rectangle. We're going to build another rectangle, stack it on top, and then we'll be close to having a garden bed. I'll spare you the juicy details. We'll just build them and then I'll show you. After screwing all of my parts and pieces together, I stacked my 2 rectangles on top of each other, and then I went ahead and doubled the process by making 2 more rectangles so I could have 2 beds in total. And the way I secured those 2 rectangles together was just toenailing Torx screws into the edge grain of these boards and sinking them into each other nice and tight. On top of the edge grain, I also toenailed right into the center of these boards. That way they'd be secure all the way around. All right, so now that we've got our 2 boxes, it's time to make them beautiful. I grabbed some $2 cedar fence pickets, and I'm going to be using them as trim all the way around the tops of the boxes. I'm mitering all of the corners, laying them out in a picture frame-esque way. That way they have the perfect aesthetic. I thought about tack nailing these guys on just so you didn't see fasteners, but I know for a fact my kids are going to climb all over these boxes, and I think I need something a little bit more substantial, so I'm going with Torx screws that match the color of the cedar fence pickets. One of the last things I need to do to the outside of this garden bed to send it to that next level is to just trim out all of the corners. That way it looks finished all around on every side. I used some of the leftover cedar fence pickets, which basically made this little touch of detail free, but if you did need to buy a full picket, those boards were about $3. Cedar is a rot-resistant wood, and that's why we chose it for these garden beds, but it's also an expensive wood, so in order to give it a little bit more longevity, we're adding this black sheeting on the inside of it. That way water stays off of it for as long as possible. You guys want to know how to make this an afternoon project? Have your wife place your Lowe's online order a week before you're even prepared to build anything, and then go with her to pick that stuff up days before you're ready to build anything, and then have that stuff sitting there looking at you, staring at you, ready for you to build something. I guarantee you'll get it done pretty quick. I always see folks online adding cardboard to the bottom of their garden beds, and I'm doing that in one of these boxes because I want to test my theory that it doesn't do anything. It doesn't change anything at all. So one bed has it, one bed doesn't. I'll report back. Finally, we've made it to the fun part. It's time to get our hands dirty in the dirt. And this is the part that the kiddos have been desperately waiting for. I said we were going to get our hands dirty, but Colby is out here absolutely rocking her Paw Patrol gloves that we got from Lowe's. Grayson, on the other hand, took his off and immediately wanted to get in the mess, just like his dad. We used 4 bags per bed of the Stog Green flower and vegetable garden soil. Those bags were 2 cubic feet, and then for each bed we mixed in 2 bags of the black cow manure. And the average for each of those bags was about $7. After filling up these beds with soil and manure, we're raking them and spraying them down. That way everything inside can settle out. Now look at that. If you wanted to know why I chose cedar, here is your answer. Finally, we're at the point where I am most excited, and that is adding the vegetables. We get a 2-pack of these Bonnie jalapenos from Lowe's online for $12.49. And we got a 2-pack of the Bonnie tomatoes for $12.85. Because I'm not that big of a fan of bell peppers, we grabbed 1 single bell pepper plant for $6. I was actually very proud of my daughter through this entire situation. She took instruction very well. She was able to get the plants out of the pots and into the ground successfully. And without even saying anything, she went and grabbed all of the individual labels and put them back with their plants. That way we could identify them forever. Another thing also from our Lowe's online shopping list are these Bloom 2-gallon watering cans. Obviously we had to get 2 because ain't no way both of these kids are sharing 1. We bought these pots specifically for our kids, so taking care of them is 100% their responsibility. And if they're successful or they fail, they get to live with the consequences of those results. I just added a single bag of soil to each of these pots and separated these cannas into each of those. I ended up having a lot of scrap wood laying around, so we decided to quickly throw something up around the perimeter of our fence. My wife is interested in the vegetable part of gardening, but she really would like flowers to be involved too, so that's what this bed is for. We're gonna make a little minimalist bed. We grabbed all the sticks and the leaves from the yard, dumped them in these beds on the side, then we just added a couple of bags of soil. That way whatever plants we put in here would have a healthy top layer to dig into. After my wife added all of the plants, we did go back and put sheathing on our fence just to make sure we didn't rot out the fence or lose any of our soil.
So we got 3 of these vinca pots so that we could hang them on these shepherd hooks around the perimeter. And then I have some dahlia flowers in here. We got some dahlias that were already grown at Lowe's. And then I started these seedlings in some pots. These are some zinnia flowers that I just transplanted into the bed. And then this whole bed is just some more zinnia seeds and some sunflower seeds.
Some of the last touches that we added to this garden bed to make it the best possible garden were these shepherd hooks. And we added solar lights to these beds that make it look absolutely fantastic when the sun goes down. If you happen to be putting off a backyard project like I was, go ahead and get it done, because once you're done, you get to look at something like this. Y'all pray for me. I'm already headed to the truck to unload the lumber for the next backyard project my wife has me set up on. This is why I put things off, alright? Because one thing leads to another and then we get a whole new backyard. That actually doesn't sound too bad. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you Lowe's for sponsoring this video. If you want to see more projects like this video, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one. If you watched this video and thought to yourself, man, that was so good, how can I give this guy money to repay him? Then you're in luck. I have a lot of stuff listed on my Etsy store that you can buy to support the channel. So head on over to reformationwoodshop.etsy.com to grab something.